In this food adventure, I'm taking on a monster 24-inch pizza challenge in Sydney, Australia, which comes loaded with toppings and also includes a 1.25 liter soda requirement. But before I suit up into my turtle hoodie and embark on this pizza battle, I had to build up my appetite first. So what better way to do that than by walking around and checking out Sydney beforehand? And while I was looking forward to all these sights to be seen, there was one thing in particular, and we'll just say less than excited to see. And that was the big man himself, Randy Santel, and his continued, crippling, all-consuming phone addiction.
Like this all day, every day.
It's getting pretty bad now, and I'm pretty sure he even knows it too.
You know it's gonna be a crazy day when Randy brings his charger with him.
One or both of them?
Oh no, just one.
And I'm gonna be honest and say that today, it was basically non-stop.
Joe, Randy, this curb.
True story here, and I so wish I would have filmed it, but there was one time on this trip where we were both walking around like this, and I didn't say anything about an upcoming curb, and he totally ate it big time. It was mostly more embarrassing than anything else, but he then had the audacity to tell me that it was my fault for not warning him. Unbelievable. Anyways, we eventually made it to the downtown area, and when we did, I feasted my eyes on all sorts of sights, including some cool looking buildings, and some nice, wide, expansive views. We also made a quick pit stop into the local Hard Rock Cafe for a little side quest Randy was looking to complete, which involved getting a shot glass for his mom to add to her collection. Then once that quest was completed, we continued onwards, checking out more sights of the area while making our way to something extraordinary.
This is cool.
Yeah, this is pretty neat. Finally here. Sydney Opera House.
As one of the world's most famous and iconic buildings, there was no way I wasn't going to be checking this out.
Randy, watch out.
And let me tell you, it's something special. The unique design and the sense of just the sheer size of it when you see it in person. Not to mention, you've got beautiful views of the city and the surrounding areas. It's absolutely incredible. I could have spent the entire day viewing the sights and doing all kinds of people watching, though there was another adventure to be had today. So it was time to head back to the base of operations and prepare myself for the upcoming battle at hand. But before I focus my full attention on that, let's take a look at some of the photos I took, which highlight some of the sights seen on this day of exploration. Now, with my appetite officially being stoked, I was ready to eat. So I grabbed my things and made my way to the restaurant. Then once I arrived, I met with the owners, checked the place out a bit, then I finally came face to face with this 24-inch monster pizza challenge. And the battle is on as I'm squaring off against the Big G's 24-inch Monster Pizza Challenge in the St. Mary's area of Sydney, New South Wales of Australia. Now with this pizza challenge, you have a 24-inch pizza that comes with 4 toppings of your choice, which one of those toppings has to be a meat. And for my pizza challenge, I went with green peppers, red peppers, onion, and then for my protein, typically I like to go with ham, but this time I decided to change things up and go with chicken. Then, in addition to this pizza, you have to finish a 1.25 liter of soda of your choice, and you have a 1-hour time limit to finish everything. And if you fail, you have to fork over 60 Australian dollars. But if you win, you get the meal for free, a free shirt, and your picture up on their wall of fame. Also with this challenge, there is a progressive jackpot, where each failed attempt adds $10 to the pot until someone wins. But in this case, it really doesn't matter because someone just happened to swoop in and take it before me. And I'm sure you can imagine who that was. So right out of the gate, I wanted to keep a good pace here while I was working on the inside of that pizza, which is why you see me just doubling up on those squares and making some pizza sandwiches before I go to town and send it down. because I wasn't too sure how things were gonna play out once I got to those outer crust pieces. But at least on the plus side here, the pizza was doing all the right things for my taste buds. Flavor wise, this was just some solid pizza. I don't often get chicken on my pizza, but I certainly wasn't hating it in this case. And it was actually more tender than I was expecting it to be. And the veggies, they were fresh and crisp, so I wasn't anticipating flavor fatigue to be a major factor in this one. And there also was enough cheese and sauce here to really balance out and complement the other ingredients. And the timing on that wink could not be any worse. So, sorry ladies, that might be all you get here. By the way, I've noticed that when I skip a video and there's no wink to be seen, they definitely let me know. And some of them even get upset that they didn't get their fix, which I might have to look more into that. And speaking of cheeky antics, the big man had a scheme of his own during my pizza challenge too.
Hey, will you do me a favor? Can you just film this? You just hold it. I'm gonna do something stupid. All right, Mitch is 9 minutes and 58 seconds in. His pace is quicker than mine. We'll have to see what he does, but he's doing a great job. Let's go, Mitch. Be sure to check out my channel. It's Randy Santel. Let's go, Mitch.
Sick networking.
And I was starting to have a little bit of trouble with the big pocket of air in my stomach, and it was starting to make me feel a bit uncomfortable. And even while trying to do some wiggles and shakes to get some of that out, it just wasn't happening. And in most cases, this is where I'd want to switch over to that diet soda to help out with that. But I wanted to hold out on that just a bit longer, since I wasn't experiencing much flavor fatigue, and I was still really enjoying the pizza. And with nearly the entire inside of that pizza finished, it was time for me to work on that big old pile of crust. And even though it was on the chewier side, I still enjoyed it. At least my taste buds did. Really can't say the same thing for my jaw. Now, to each their own here, but in most cases, I personally prefer to eat the crust by itself. And that's because it's mostly a consistent texture, and it just helps me keep in a rhythm. Also, just as a couple side notes here, I personally don't mind either Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi, or any other Diet Cola variations, but I do find it interesting that it wasn't until I started doing food challenges that I actually could start noticing a difference between them in flavor. And as far as drinking it out of a 1.25 liter bottle, well, I could have asked for a cup. I really didn't think it was necessary, but on the other hand, I definitely made sure to use both hands on that bottle, because nothing would be worse or more embarrassing than having my winning streak and all come to an abrupt end, all due to some unfortunate silly slip or spill. While I continue to chew through this crust, I can still feel that ever-growing air pocket. And neither the shimmies or the shakes, nor the diet soda here was working. But then, I could start hearing the cheers from those who were watching. Which bolstered my food fighting spirit. And I continued on, and not knowing if I'd be able to burp up the air pocket or not, I mustered up the rest of my food fighting strength. Or drinking prowess, I suppose, in this situation. And there we go, powering through to get the win. And as a little bonus, once I stood up, I was finally starting to burp up some of those air pockets. And while I was only the third person to beat this pizza challenge, it was time to be the first. To follow it up with some post-challenge victory push-ups. To watch more from this trip, tap the video on the screen or click the link in the description down below, and I'll see you there.